Good morning. It is June 22nd and it's not too hot, so we're going to come out and do a little garden tour. It's about 6 a.m. Everything looks nice, even though we have been having the heat wave that I think everybody has been having, and it's actually nice. We need the growth. So there's a lot going on to see today. Well, let's get started. Okay, so on the porch. Everything is planted up here. I haven't brought my house plants out. I haven't decided if I'm actually going to bring my house plants out at all this year. It's just a lot of effort. And now that the cats have all gone to new houses, I can kind of have the house plants spread around in my house more. So I might not end up bringing them out, but I haven't talked about the containers. Nothing overly special going on in these containers this year. There is some coleus that I started from seed. This is Black Dragon. Some alyssum that I started from seed. It's not quite doing anything yet. And then some begonias and impatiens just kind of sprinkled all through the planters. And then these ones in the front have calla lilies in them with the with the coleus. And the hanging baskets all have bacopa, just white bacopa, except for that one on the end, which gets more of a full day's worth of sun, has petunias. Because for whatever reason, and I know that bacopa says that it can take full sun on the tag, but in my yard, bacopa does better the more shade it gets. So you can see like these two have the most shade and sort of the densest plants, and then as it goes along it gets a little bit thinner, and then that one on the end just wasn't doing anything at all, so I replaced it with a petunia. Oh gosh, let's see. Okay, hostas all look good. You're gonna see some dusting on the plants. The deer pressure has been pretty bad this year, and the rabbits, so I had to start doing something. But everything that hasn't been eaten looks really, really nice, hosta-wise. Definitely want to get more going in here. I'll probably end up separating out, not this one, although I wish this one was big enough for me to separate out because it's a really beautiful hosta. This is Captain Kirk. I really like that, but I have a few that are pretty thick and can get, like this one here has quite a few stems, so I could definitely separate that out at least once. And this one here is also nice and thick, so I'll probably end up separating those out more towards the end of the year. What's the only thing that's really new over here is that I put this Jack Frost Brunnera in here and here. So I got those. They looked like they were pretty dead at Walmart on clearance for I think $4 or $5 a piece, and just soaked them in that there until they started to leaf out a little bit. So once I felt they were big enough, I just threw them right in there. The maiden hair fern, the little heads that survived are doing really wonderful, and then this one over here only had the one stem survive the rabbit attack, but it's doing great, and I'm going to leave the cages on there for the rest of the season. The bunnies are coming after this autumn moon on this side, but they're leaving the one alone on this side, so that's kind of what it should look like. It's very heavily dusted though, because the deer really love the hosta. Bridal Veil Astilbe starting to get some buds. You can see what the rabbits did too. So this is the pot of gold columbine. That completely defoliated this plant. Completely. I don't know if if it will survive to next year with absolutely no leaves. I don't know if it'll come back next year. So we'll see. But I did get some flowers off of it. That's the first year I got some flowers off of it. There's a few more astilbes back here. I'm not really sure exactly what they are, but they also have buds coming. They're ones that I picked up from Walmart. Yeah. So the little English daisies are still got a little bit of color, but they're pretty much going over. The primrose are completely done. These little baskets are starting to put on some growth. We did see about 90, I think 91 we hit yesterday, and we're supposed to be right around the same with that today. Serendipity alliums are beautiful. No stems yet. Those are later in the season. There's just a little bit of color left on this one primrose, but this one's done. Those might rebloom in the fall. Okay, so all the dianthus are fully in bloom and looking gorgeous and bright and cheery in here now. I've talked about the dianthus before. These are just like 4 packs that I pick up from Walmart. Usually they're half dead, and I tuck them in, and they're perennial here, so they come back every year, and they're really beautiful. They just add so much cheery color. Oh, let's talk about Boom Chocolata. Okay, so this is the Boom Chocolata geranium, heavily dusted again because the deer have come in and eaten this thing down now 2 times, maybe 3. It is gonna bloom. This should be a pretty big bush, almost like a small bush at this point, and then have blooms that come up really tall, but it's just gonna be little. It keeps trying to grow back under there. Every time that the deer spray or dust wears off even a little bit, they come in and eat it. So not sure what to say. I'm gonna have to put that one behind like some sort of fence or something. This is the Painted Lady Iris, about to open up here. It's gonna have a ton of blooms too. It's gonna be beautiful. I did also have this is a coneflower Eaton. This is phlox Eaton, and that was phlox Eaton. Now those phlox will come back from that, so I could still see some blooms off of those later in the year, but I'm not sure about the coneflower, if that will rebound or not, so we may not see anything off of that until next year. There's still other phlox that hasn't been touched. This one's got lots of buds on it. It's looking fantastic. That one is a Proven Winners one, Spotlight or Illumination Spotlight or something like that. And then that is phlox there. I don't remember what color it is because we didn't get any flowers off of it last year because the deer ate that one so aggressively. They just kept coming in and eating it. But these are white, and I believe these are pink. Brunnera up here is done flowering, which always makes me kind of sad because their flowers, those little blue forget-me-not type flowers, just make me so happy. But they're done, and also the Virginia is done. Virginia? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. That thing flowered for, I swear, it was in flower for like a month and a half. And it was lovely. I just got that in a bare root sale last year. So I can't wait to see that really grow and fill that space in. And have, and just a lot of flowers. It only had 1 flower stalk on it this year. And it was gorgeous and huge and lasted for a very long time. The Rainbow Fizz Spirea are starting to get some flower heads. So this one and the one on the end that's kind of tucked in there, those were ones that I got in like, I think they were little quart containers, and they were just stringy little plants last year. So even though they look maybe a little scraggly this year. They've actually put on a ton of growth. I mean, maybe it was like 3 or 4 stems last year when I put it in the ground. So just a really, really small container. And it had been, dried out and all of that. Of course, I bought it on clearance. So I'm happy with the little bit of blooms that we're going to get there. This one is new this year, and it is the Rainbow Fizz. But it was in a larger container, a gallon container, and it seems to be doing okay. It seems to be transplanting all right. It also has a little bit of blooms coming. It has a much nicer shape, so you can see that these ones will be, once they get a little more established and I can shape them a little bit, they'll look more like that one shape-wise. Okay, let's talk about this Coreopsis because it is really the one that is going for it right now. Oh, it's so pretty. There are a lot of things that I really love about this plant, and I don't know what the name of this plant is as far as like its commercial name. It is a Coreopsis, and that's about as much as I know. I love this plant because the flowers are so cheerful. First of all, it is full of blooms every year. It just blooms so heavily. And the actual plant, so once it's done, the foliage of the plant is quite low. It gets wider than it does high. The flowers are what give this plant its height. And so once it's done, you don't have like a whole bunch of, foliage and that needs to die back and looks ugly and is messy and everything like that. It just sort of blends into whatever's growing up around it. It's really a beautiful, perfect plant. And the color scheme right now with the red and the pink and this blue of the Crater Lake Veronica, this is so pretty. This is just lovely. Look at those sweet little flowers. Oh my gosh. This I also got in a bare root sale last year, same one. It's doing fantastic. Really beautiful. Oh my god. I just cannot get over how sweet these little flowers are on here with that white eye. And they just look perfect with this. This color combination is gorgeous. And with a little bit of pink and a little bit of red from Dianthus in here, and the Heuchera just starting to put on their sweet little flowers as well. This is probably just my favorite little corner or niche in the garden right now. It's so cheerful and lovely. Okay, and then we'll come down the north side. Everything is really starting to fill in. It looks great. I even have this clematis. I think it's called Bernadine. Hold on, let me see. I've got the tag in here. I know I do. Get through all this cat mint. Bernadine, yeah. And I think I also had I think I have 2 in here. Honestly, I don't think these are the same because you can see this one is a much lighter green than this one, and the leaves are just a little bit different. I think there's also maybe a Jackmani or Jackmani. I'm not sure how you pronounce that in here as well. And they're both going for it. That'll be the first year. If we get any flowers, it'll be fantastic. I think they've both been in there for like 3 years. And they were roots that I got, in a plastic bag at Walmart. The Nepeta is huge. It's huge. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but it's probably about 3.5 feet wide with it splayed out like that right now. It looks gorgeous. The bees love it. Everything loves it. These flowers are so pretty too. I do think I'm going to lift it. So when this first flush of blooms is done, I'll come in and give it a haircut. That's just how I do for the year. So I'm going to come in, give it a haircut, but I'm also going to lift it and split it. And then I'll put a piece back in here, and then, I don't know, maybe I'll move it into the back or, the other piece. Let's see, this little tick seed here, this Coreopsis, looks great. Again, it's another plant that I got on clearance. There's a theme. I like clearance shopping. Got that this year. It was looking pretty messy, but it bounced back. You can see down here there's still a lot of the like dead from where it looked when I first put it in, but it'll be fine. It'll come back really gorgeous next year. And for right now, that yellow and burgundy color just look fantastic up against the purpley blue of the Nepeta. This torch hydrangea taking to getting put in the ground really, really well. It seems very happy. No complaints from that plant. This is salvia. This is Sky Dancer White. I started these from seed 2 years ago. So I have the white and the blue. Absolutely love the look of these flowers. It's like a little... It reminds me of, what are those fish really deep in the ocean that have the little thing that hangs off their head and attracts other fish? It's like a little light that hangs off their head. That's what these flowers remind me of. Because they all have that little piece that kind of sticks right off the end of their top petals. Anyways, these look gorgeous. I have them, the white and the blue, sort of spread all the way down this bed. There is some phlox in here too, getting ready to start blooming. Got some heads coming on those. I think that those are the, I think they're called Fashionably Laid or Fashionably something. And I've got 2 of them, 2 sets in here. I can't remember if they're different colors or not. Again, those got eaten down by the deer last year. Some iris pop in here. I'm not sure what these ones are. I did buy these at a plant sale. These are like Anna plants. So some things I got at a plant sale from a woman named Anna, and I call them Anna. So these are Anna irises. A little more sage down there. So what happened with the Sky Dancer sage is I planted it in containers thinking it was going to be a annual where I am, or salvia, sage salvia, same difference. And so I started them from seed, the blue and the white from Baker Creek. I planted them in containers. They didn't bloom. I was like, oh, bummer. And then I took those containers and emptied them out. The soil was at the end of its usefulness, and kind of emptied them out into my kitchen garden beds, the raised beds. And the next year they came back and they bloomed, and actually only got blue blooms that year. And at the towards the middle to the end of the year, I was like, oh, I can't keep these in my kitchen garden beds. They're too big. So I dug them up, separated them out, and spread them all through this bed. And now this year, they've come back. Some are white and some are blue. So I don't know. You just never know what you're going to get. But I love them. This is the blue here. It's beautiful. And they just give the nice height and that movement and the breeze to this bed. Again, they have the same little things sticking off the end of them. Really pretty, really, really, really pretty. There's iris in here. I don't think we're going to see any blooms off of these iris this year, maybe next year. That's what I keep saying. These Invincibelle Mauvette, maybe, they were eaten down to the ground by the deer earlier in the season, but they have blooms setting all over. So as long as I can keep the deer off them for the rest of the season, we should have an absolutely gorgeous show come off of these. this year. The little orchid blue geraniums, hardy geraniums that I started from seed this year, doing fantastic. When I put these in the ground, I think maybe they had like 3 or 4 leaves, and I had the little white containers over them, but I think that was a couple weeks ago now, they've put on a ton of growth. So they're going to do fantastic. I just, again, got to keep the deer off them for a little while. The black scallop ajuga is spreading gorgeous. The flowers are starting to go over, but they were beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And let's see. The bowl of fruit yarrow is getting ready to start putting out its first sets of flowers. These containers are doing really nicely. So these are just a few osteospermums that I picked up again at Walmart. These are sunray sunflowers in here. They will do fine. They just need a little heat, which we're finally getting, which is nice. A couple cutesy, dwarf cutesy, I think they're called, cosmos. And then I do have some cannas in here, which look like they're popping up. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they come up or not. It doesn't, it's always a chance with the canna lilies because it just doesn't get that hot here. It stays pretty temperate. Even with the heat wave that we're having where we're going to be in the 90s, by midweek we're going to be back in the 60s and 70s. So it won't last. But then this grass was on the front corner of the house towards the front there, and I dug it up this year because I wanted to put that spirea in there. So it split out into 2 very nice clumps. It does get tall. It probably gets about as tall as me, so about 5 feet, 5.5 feet. I'm 5'3". I think it's a little bit taller than me, and has beautiful plumes in the fall. So I put 1 clump here to kind of hide, I don't know, whatever the heck that is. I'm not sure what that is. Some sort of wire coming out of the basement. That obviously doesn't get used anymore. I've never even looked. And I don't want to, honestly. Okay, it will get taller and kind of block that. And then I have some in front of that little I don't know, the heat comes out of that. That's not an exchange. What is it? It's a pipe. It's a pipe where steam comes out of when I run my dryer. It shows you how much I know about how my house works. Oh God. Okay, so this one here is also doing really well. It's just a little bit further along than that one. I don't know if that one just gets more shade or what, but this one is like perfect. It's gorgeous. So many blooms on this. And this hydrangea is it's an Invincibelle, and it's a lace cap. It's gorgeous. I love it. There's more of that orchid blue. This is pink cushion flower, Scabiosa, Fama Blue, and Fama White I have in here. I put them in as seed starts last year. I don't think we're going to see any flowers off of them this year, but hopefully next year. They definitely have survived well, and they're growing well, but I don't think we'll see any flowers. This heuchera is so gorgeous. I think I have 2 of these in here. Oh no, I don't. I have 2 of the more peachy or redder sort of peachy, and then this one here. I think this is called maybe caramel apple. So this ajuga that just kind of grows here naturally is pretty aggressive, and I want my I want ground cover here, but I want my black scallop ajuga to be my ground cover here. So I've just been coming in. It lifts out really easy. It's easy to pull, but you can see that it kind of takes over the black scallop. I think the black scallop is the only thing that really suffers from it, though. Everything else seems fine with it. But occasionally it just gets up a little too high, so you can't really see the definition of the plant. But this is a really, really gorgeous heuchera, and it doesn't seem to mind it here. So even though it's sunnier, I always think of heuchera preferring a shadier area. This one seems just fine. And this is the last of the Invincibelles. These, I believe, are some iris, like the spring iris. And those were in where I dug those out from where I put the new Jack Frost Brunnera in by the porch up front and stuck them over here. So every year they come up, but they never bloom. So this year I just dug them up and stuck them in the ground over here. They should get enough sun over here. I just don't think they get enough sun. In the other area, this is the other grass. The other Anna grass. Got some lilies in here. These are new ones. And I believe they're the Red Dutch. They're gonna bloom. They look gorgeous. This is a super duper echinacea called Super Duper, and it's like big double pink ones. I started that from seed this year. This one is done in my winter sowing jugs. That was the only one that actually stayed alive, so it's doing good, but I'm keeping it caged. I'm gonna keep all the little pesky animals away from it. These are also the Fama pincushion flowers, the Scabiosa. The purple alliums are done. I love the allium seed head though. Looks really cool once it's done. It's like alliums they just keep on giving, honestly. And I'm definitely gonna let those go to seed because I hear that they spread really well. This is also a Coreopsis that I got at the same time as the one down at the end that looks a little bit rougher. This one was in pretty bad condition when I first got it too, but you can see it's probably popped back a little bit nicer. And it's got a ton of buds on it that are ready to go. I cannot wait for this. Okay, so this is the Echinops. Echinops? It's like thistle, but it's it doesn't spread around and make a mess, so it's not sticky and terrible but it's coming. These I got, so I have two of them here. I got in plastic bags at Walmart probably 2.5, 3 years ago now. Put them in, they just came up with foliage. Okay, no, so it's been 2 years because last year was their first season to come up. They just came up with foliage the first year, and now this year we're gonna get flowers. I'm super excited, and it looks like they're gonna be really just covered. Oh, it's gonna be so pretty. I'm excited for that. Okay, so this iris is starting to put out its first blooms too. This one I got at a bare root sale last year, and it is called Pink Haze. So the tag makes it look like they're a little bit more pinky and beige, where you can see, I mean, maybe. To me, it opens up pretty purple. Maybe it ages out, but you can see. I mean, irises just, in general, don't look great when they age out, so I'm not sure what. But this color here, this bloom here, it's more like that when it's fresh. Which is gorgeous. It's fine that it's not that pink haze. It's kind of splaying out. We've had some rain. This is, I thought that this little peony was Sarah Bernhardt, but it's not. It's Hawaiian coral. It opened fully yesterday. It's gorgeous. It looks like a gorgeous sunset. I'll try and get a picture of it when it's open today. really beautiful. I cannot wait for this whole area to just be a big patch of peony. Okay, here we are to the back, to the kitchen garden. So we've got blooms coming on the Lavender Perfection dahlias. These I started in the house months ago, probably 2 months ago I started these indoors, and they got really leggy and everything, but when I got them in the ground they seem to be doing fine. They seem to be putting out new growth at the bottom, because I was thinking, well, I'll cut them back, and maybe I might still kind of do a deep cut on them, maybe like down to here or something after the first flowers come. But it's nice to have dahlias that early. These ones I also started in the house probably a month ago. These are the Seattle. Not quite as far along. And then we have the ones that Lily got for me for Mother's Day. All looking really good. This one is Lights Out, and this one is Drama Queen. It'll be later in the season before I start to see flowers off of these ones. This salvia is one that I got in a bare root last year. It's huge. It's gorgeous. I am not complaining about the look of this plant at all. It is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Oh my gosh. Even when they're not open yet, the flower heads are gorgeous. So I have no idea what they look like when they're done, but I'm sure they're also gorgeous because of this. The calyx has these like dark, yeah, I'm sure it'll be gorgeous. Too big for this spot. You can barely see the heuchera down there. There's a oh gosh, there's a little plant back there that is getting absolutely no light because of this, so it's gonna have to get dug up. And I'm kind of waiting for it to get past its prime again, like the catmint, because I mean, it's almost as big, it's bigger, I think. Even this bloom stalk right here is definitely bigger than the candelabra hydrangea behind it. So I kind of want it to be a little bit more where the hydrangea is the backdrop of these beds. So this is going to get dug and spread out. I luckily have a new space opening up in my garden, which I'll show you guys shortly here. Let's see, this iris has been in bloom now for a while. Really stunningly gorgeous. The blue and the white, and then this actually has a little bit of blue. I don't know if it catches on here, but it has blue sort of mottled around the outside edges. It's just gorgeous. Really pretty. And I've only got a few more blooms to come off of that. So it's been really lovely to have a big iris like that blooming. These hydrangeas starting to get their little bloom heads in there. It's gonna look great. The deer did get at this one this year, but it seems to be doing just fine. That's the nice thing about hydrangeas, that really giving them a little bit of a nibble is helpful and gets you more blooms off of a hydrangea. This heuchera is blooming. I know a lot of people don't like the blooms on heuchera, but I think they're gorgeous. I love the height that they give, and again, they give movement when there's a breeze. They're just really beautiful. These zinnias I have in the ground here are the Benary's Giants, and then we have another Seattle Dahlia at the end of this bed. The porch is looking lovely. We'll go up there and when we finish the tour. So let's let's see, gosh, what should we talk about? Okay, let's talk about this. So, let's see. This area of the garden is where my boundary, my property line is with my neighbor Lola. And she is older. She's like in her 80s, and she's had trees that have been growing up around that property line for a long time that just didn't get maintenance at all. And some of them were coming up and getting, and nobody lived on my property for a few years either, so there were a few trees on my side that hadn't been maintained in a while, and they had gotten big. And so we each had a couple of trees on each side that were connecting with the power lines. So I called the power company to come out and top those trees, clear that area, and then Lola, while they were here, she talked to one of the guys and asked him to come back and do a little more work and move a few more trees out, and he did. And so now where my kitchen garden, the left-hand side of my kitchen garden, the south side of my kitchen garden was in shade for quite a while. Like the sun didn't really hit that part of the beds until probably 1:30 in the afternoon. Now it will start to see sunlight around 9 a.m. So I have a much more fuller space, much more full sun space here. But also, when he came in and cleared those trees out, it showed me that I actually have, let me show you guys, way more clear space on this side of my yard than I thought I did. I really thought, you can see he took 1, 2, 3 trees out from right here, and those 3 trees, and then the ones that were coming through the fence from her side, like these 2, this was covering all the ground here, and I really couldn't get in here. I couldn't tell what was going on, but it's pretty bare. There's a bunch of branches and stuff. He took most of it with him, but I mean, he did a really good job clearing it out, but there's still a bunch of debris in here that I have to deal with. But this is like free ground, and it's probably, I'm gonna say, at least 8 feet wide, maybe 9. I'd have to come out here with the measurement, and then the whole like length of my backyard. So I am so excited about that. I cannot wait to get in here, clear this out, and start planting it. I'm just like, oh, I have visions of, I've always wanted to have sort of a native garden space over here. I gotta get my thoughts together and really start planning. So that'll be next year. This year I'm hoping to have some of the clearing done, but I won't be, more than likely I won't be planting anything until next year. But oh my god, it's like a huge space. It looks like a mess right now, and I do have walkway stones piled up back there that has to get dealt with and things like that. It's kind of become a catch-all down there for random things, and I keep my lawnmower here and different things. I'd like to have a nice shed, maybe a small shed, maybe like a 4x8 shed where I can, stuff my yard tools in there and stuff like that, but then have this all be more like native plants and things like that, with some maybe berry bushes, probably berries in here as well. And I'm going to come in and do a little more cleaning. As you can see, it's exposed a lot of dead branches, so I'm going to come up and clean stuff out as much as I can, probably take out even some more of the smaller trees that I can on my side. This is, I think, a viburnum or a lilac here, or a mix of a viburnum and a lilac, and it comes over the dog kennel. I'll probably leave that. I don't think I will clean these up. I'll most likely leave those because they give the dog kennel some nice shade, and then Oh, there's a lot of pollen up there. And then the apple tree, I'm going to come in and clean that up as well so I can get this sun through here. So that's the big excitement of my yard. I just found a massive garden space and have to start planning for that, which is just terrible. Oh my gosh. I'm really excited about it. All right, let's look at, so if anybody has any ideas, throw them in the comments and let me know. But I'll be doing a lot of planning on that this year. So the dog kennel, everything on the dog kennel is doing fantastic this year. This is a clematis that I put in last year. I don't remember the name of it. It's like a standing clematis. It's not the Stand By Me, but maybe sort of more like a generic of the Stand By Me clematis, and I'm pretty sure it's blue. It's got some buds coming. It did have hollyhocks in front of it last year, but because this is a shadier spot, this year didn't seem to bother it that it doesn't have anything down by its roots. So it's doing gorgeous. I'm just weaving it into the dog kennel to give it a little bit of support. And then I do have green beans. These are dragon green beans. They're going for it. And some morning glory. I'm not sure what kind of morning glory that is. I started a bunch of different ones this year. Some of them I think even had scent. So that'll be exciting to see what color those come out. There's some more of the purple alliums over here, and they're just finishing up. The delphinium is huge, and there's so many little buds on it. You're going to kind of dig down in here, but they're all over the place in here, so this is going to be gorgeous. Nellie Mosier, clematis, starting to bloom, looking beautiful. There's so many buds on here, you guys. And they're just going up, up, up. And I'm spreading it all over here. It's doing fantastic. So I got this clematis and that one at the same time last year at Menards. I think I paid $8 a piece for them. It was probably the deal of the year last year. I love these Nellie Mosier. My mother gave me these as a gift. I had in one of my big garden years ago, and I had never been able to find it again since I moved, and I didn't take it with me, and I missed it a lot. So I was so excited when I found it. But I mean, there's even some coming out on the ground here. I'm just letting it go. It's gorgeous. More green beans in here, also doing really well. There's another morning glory in here. Some lilies. These are hollyhocks, but not the ones that I had originally in here, which were the black hollyhocks are what I had in this bed, and they were gorgeous for a few years. Last year they got rust really bad, and this year they just didn't come back at all. So these ones are some dwarf ones, Carnival or something like that, I think they're called, that Lily found at the dollar store for seeds, and so we threw that in. This is the Love Parade yarrow. Looks gorgeous. Strawberries in the baskets. I did throw some seeds in all over the place in here yesterday morning because we had some rain, and then we were supposed to get into the 90s. So one of the things that I was a little sad about this year is that we weren't going to have any nasturtium volunteers. So I really love nasturtium. I love to have them climbing all over the garden by the end of the season, where it's just a massive jungle of nasturtiums and nasturtium flowers everywhere, and you have to tiptoe through. And a lot of those nasturtiums are volunteers. They just come back from the year before. But this year, because I reset all my beds, we weren't going to have any nasturtium volunteers inside the beds. So I tried to start a bunch from seed, indoors, and only a few came up. So you'll see a few nasturtium plants. I think maybe I had 3 or 4, which is sad. I mean, they are bigger ones like Yeti and Black Velvet, but I have tons of different ones that I try to grow every year, like Purple Emperor and just Peach Melba, and all of those are so gorgeous, and they just explode here. They do really well, and they stay in bloom the whole season because of our temperate atmosphere. But anyways, so I came out and threw a bunch of nasturtium seeds in all the beds all over the place. Hopefully we start to see those pop up soon. I figured with the heat they might germinate a little bit quicker, and then we can have our jungle, nasturtium jungle. But everything that is in the ground and was started from seed is doing really fantastic, even with the heat. So these are snapdragons, these are beets. I think this is an aster here. There's basil everywhere. I threw a bunch of sunflower seeds in a few of the beds a few weeks ago. Those have all popped up and they look great. The zinnias, I've got a ton of zinnias this year, doing really well. Even this weird little cauliflower that was in its tiny seed starting container for too long, looking gorgeous. I gotta tell you, this cucumber was like at the ground yesterday. This thing put on probably 7 inches of growth in yesterday and overnight. I was stunned when I came out and saw that this morning. I mean, this leaf right here, the whole plant was at this height yesterday, and now, see if I can get you in there. I mean, it's huge. I can't believe how much I put on just from one day of heat. Really intense. The sweet peas look great. Again, I thought with the heat maybe we might see these sweet peas start to struggle a little bit, but they look good, and it's gonna get cool again. Here, like I said, in a couple of days, so they should do just fine. This one is really going for it. Here, gotta tie it. I love sweet peas. These are going to be gorgeous this year. The chives are so pretty. They're all in bloom. Again, also the squash started putting on some growth. Starting to see little flower buds in there. There's another one that actually has like a female fruit and some male flowers. So in these empty spaces, I actually was yesterday too, because I was walking around earlier in the week, last week, and realized that I have a ton of space in my kitchen garden. That never happens to me. I always am overplanted. So I was like, well, I better get some seeds out there, or oh my God, everything's going to have as much room as it says they should have. So when I came out, I put some cauliflower in, and I put some rutabaga in, I put some more beets in, and I put celery, and what else did I put in food-wise? Parsnips, but I put those in the ground. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I put in a lot of cool weather plants. So I basically have what's left in June here, and then July and August and a little bit of September before it starts to get so dark. We start to get less and less light here. And so the plants, even the cool weather stuff where other people might sow that in like the end of July, I have to start it now, or else it will not get that growth into when it starts to get darker. We might still be in the 60s and 70s all the way through September, but it'll get darker and darker and darker. And the plants just will not get enough strong sunlight to put on growth where maybe in other places they do. So I have to start them now They'll struggle a little bit maybe in the midsummer heat, but not too bad. Plus, I try to keep them towards the middle of the beds so that the summer plants sort of give them shade in the high sun parts of the day. But I do have to start that now. It's like everything that I put in my garden that I want to have by the end of the year, by the end of my garden year, it like all has to go in at once. So that's another reason why I was shocked to see that I had any space at all in my garden beds. But I do. So I threw a bunch of stuff in yesterday. Yeah. So let's just very, very, very sad garlic. It was just a terrible garlic year, and I honestly don't know why. I mean, and the ones that are doing okay are so skinny, they're going to be super small. It's a bummer. I'm sad about it, but what, you can't win them all, I guess. The scapes are starting to come on, which seems early to me. Usually that's not until July. And they're all very puny, like just skinnier than my fingers even. And some of them are just completely dying and didn't get any real growth on them at all. I don't know what went wrong. I honestly can't say what went wrong with the garlic this year, but it was bad. So we won't look at it for too much longer. Okay, let's go here. This bed is a little bit nicer. We've got zinnias in here, the ballerina zinnia. I think this is the bronze dragon. Snapdragons are looking gorgeous. There's sunflowers all in here. The sunflowers that you see in these beds are all pro-cut sunflowers, so they're for cutting for my for bouquets throughout the summer to go with all the beautiful zinnies. And then there's beets all along there. There's some onions that are still kind of small, but they're spread around the outside of this bed. And they look great. And this year's winner of the volunteer plant is Cosmos. So let's just look right here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Cosmos plants right here. The only one that I started from seed is this one. And they are just popping up all over the place. All over the place in there. There's also dill in this little area. You can see going for it, which is fantastic because I did spread some dill in the beds, but it didn't survive the transplant. Cosmos here. They're everywhere. They're spread all over, and I'm just letting them go because they're my only volunteers. Look, you can see even more just popping up here. They're going for it. That little dahlia looks fantastic. That's the Mount Hood. It's a white one, a white ball dahlia. I'm super excited for that one. It's going to be gorgeous for bouquets. These are marigolds, the big ones, like big orange, and one's yellow. So those plants will get really big, and the marigolds will be large. Tomatoes looking fantastic. Look at all the flower buds on this kind of first set for this Black Beauty. Gorgeous. Really going for it. Excited. Strawberries, free strawberries. If you're in Ashland, Wisconsin, and you want some free strawberries, come to my yard because I got a pool full of them. The cherry tomatoes look fantastic. This is the Rosella, and that is Honey Drop. The Egyptian walking onions are doing just fine with their transplanting. Not that I had any real concerns. They are intense plants for sure. They're doing really, really well. Let's see here. Got some more Cosmos. The only dahlia now that's not really doing that great is this one. And this is the Citron du Cap. And it just has this little bit of growth on it. I was kind of hoping with the heat that this might kind of take off, but it doesn't look like it's doing anything. That makes me sad. Meh. Those are from Swan Island. The ones that Lily got me for Mother's Day are from Swan Island. She did get me 6, so I guess, having 1 out of 6 that isn't going to be gigantor isn't that bad, but usually I don't have any issues with Swan Island at all. So, but it's getting late in the season, and if it's not gonna really start to put on a massive amount of growth right now, then it's just not gonna grow. It's not gonna flower anyways. Okay, these are the Amish paste tomatoes. They look fantastic. All of them look really, really great. This bed has a bunch of stuff. I sewed a bunch of stuff in the center of this bed yesterday, but around the outline is stock. Again, this is something that is a cool weather plant, but in my temperate area, I should be able to grow that throughout the summer, and have in the past been able to grow stock all summer long. So we'll see how that goes. This little Ragged Jack kale that decided to pop out. Let me see if I can get around here. It just decided to start growing in between the 2 beds there. It's doing wonderful. It's beautiful. Oh, looks gorgeous. I've got some zinnias in here as well. I think those are Zinderellas, maybe. The green beans in this bed look fantastic. Dusty, but fantastic. Gorgeous. Got zinnias in here too. So this is where I put the parsnips in. I just ended up throwing some compost over the top of that. I'm hoping that, so this is where my driveway is. When I moved in, the driveway was actually up quite a bit further, like almost to this fencing, which is huge. That's a huge driveway. I do not need to be able to fit 6 cars in my driveway. As is, this is my neighbor's truck. I let them use part of my driveway because I only have 1 car. So that's where I'm trying. So there's a lot of gravel under the ground here, and I'm trying to grow some. So you might even see me let dandelions and things like that kind of grow in here, because their roots can get down and break up that soil because it's been compacted for quite a while, and I need to get it looser so I can plant in here. So that's where the parsnips come in, and I'm hoping they're strong enough to do the work. Basically what I did is I just scattered the seeds on top of the ground, and then put compost from my nice compost heap over there, the composted black dirt, on top of it, hoping for the best. We'll see how that goes. We will see. There's some more cosmos in here. Sweet peas on these beds are doing great. This little cucumbers on these beds, not as robust as the ones in the other bed, but they should catch up pretty quickly. This bed has straw flowers, basil. This is, I think, the cardinal basil, and that's the sweet Thai. I actually pinched that yesterday. Oh, it smelled so good. I wanted to tie it in a necklace and wear it around my neck all day. It smelled amazing. These daylilies here, I forget, they're like red something. When my neighbor, he graded my driveway for me this spring or fall. I can't remember when he did it, but he piled up all the rocks, which is very nice. It was lovely that he did it, and I appreciate it. But he piled all the rocks up on top of these daylilies, and so I had to dig them out. They seemed no worse for the wear. I mean, these ones are. Then we ended up stepping on them a bunch of times. Too, so they got beat up, but they look like they don't even miss a beat, honestly. They're doing good. Daylilies, you can't, again, that's another plant, that can kind of grow in this compacted soil. So whatever I can do to, so you can see what will grow here, of course, is dandelions. And they get that big long taproot. We'll also get like thistle. We'll get that big long taproot on it. It's just, I hate to let the weeds go, but if they're gonna do some work for me, then I might as well, honestly. This is the green carbon tomato. So Cherokee carbon tomato is my favorite tomato, and I saw this at the little health food store in town and was like, oh, I've never heard of green carbon, but let's give it a go. This plant is very robust. Tons of little tomatoes coming already. Oh, hey, little tomato. Very excited for this. These are Amish paste. They look fantastic. I think we're going to have a really great tomato year. And then this is the squash I was talking about that has the male and the female on it already. So you can see the male flowers down there. And then there's the little female flower right there. You see the fruit with the flower on top. And then there's another one here. I don't know if I can get you guys in there. It's very small, but this is, yeah, it's gonna. So there's 2 females and males on there, and that's the, did I say it? Black Beauty zucchini. So maybe we're gonna have a really great zucchini here too, which will be nice because we haven't for a while. Squash kind of gets a little temperamental in the cooler weather. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is a long one, but let's get up here on the porch. Geraniums. This one is actually one that I wintered over, filling out really nicely. All the petunias are petunias that I started from seed this year. They're either from Outside Pride, all of them, and they're either from the Plum Pudding mix or the Great Lakes mix, which are both sort of blue and purple and white mixes. And they're fantastic. They're wave petunias. They all look gorgeous. Also, all of the geraniums are geraniums that I started from seed. Even that one that I just said I wintered over, that is one that I started from seed last year. This is the coral. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Absolutely gorgeous. This looks great. This one, a little bit slower. It's coming along. These are also some zinnias that I started from seed. All my zinnias I started from seed as well. But these are the raspberry swirl. They're popped in all over the place. Some of them starting to get little blooms on them. Looking good. Ooh, June bug. Oh, look at that beetle, you guys. Oh, he's huge. Okay. Green stalks. Green stalks have strawberries, all of which are starting to get some blooms. They have lettuce. They have green beans. And they have the little quick snack cucumbers. This one is just sad. I think I put some more green bean seeds. That's another thing that I planted yesterday. I just threw in a bunch more bush beans all over the place. Kalima bush beans. So I have the dragon pole beans, a yellow bush bean, and a green bush bean. And then yesterday I put in the 4th type, which was the Kalima, which is also a green bush bean. I'm dying for these little snacker cucumbers to Come on, I got these from Botanical Gardens, and they're the parthenogenic, so they can self-pollinate. They don't need pollinators. So they're, work well in greenhouses or even indoors. I'm dying to see how they taste because I have 5 more seeds. They only came with 10 seeds. I have 5 more. And if they do well, I might try them in the house. And then I might buy some more and buy them and try them in the house this winter, which would be fantastic to have fresh little cucumbers and maybe even refrigerator pickles in the middle of the winter. Just the idea of that is fantastic to me. So for the lettuce that I put in the green stalks, I seed it heavily. So it's baby lettuce, and we just pull it leaf by leaf kind of for how we want it. Lily likes to have it on her sandwiches, and on occasion I like to have a little salad with the fresh lettuce. But it's going to be a fantastic strawberry year this year, you guys. I'm really happy. Okay, so all I have left to get in the ground is I got a couple of new dianthus at Walmart for a couple bucks a piece. These ones are white, and then these are geraniums that I started this year that haven't gotten in the ground. And the little nursery area over here has these are the Autumn Joy sedums. These are all rooted and ready to go. So I split one of my Autumn Joy sedums up, and all these branches fell off. But they have roots at the bottom, kind of like, they almost look like how tomatoes get that nubby root start. That's what sedum has too. So I just stuck them in soil, wet them down, put them over here. They're rooted in. They're ready to go in the ground at any time. I started these seeds yesterday. There's hollyhocks, the Majorette Double Champagne, the Creme de Cassis, and then some poppies, this Pizzicato mix. These are ones that I tried starting earlier so that I could have them out for a spring planting, but they didn't start well in the house, so I'm trying them outside, and then if I don't get flowers off them this year, it's okay. At least I can get them in the ground. This Pizzicato poppy mix is hardy to my zone. I think they're 3 through 9. Yeah, they're 3 through 9. And I'm a 4B 5 if you wish and hope and pray. And buy things that are hardy to 4B. Then I've got just a few little Nepeta that I found in here when I was doing that I found in the ground when I was doing some weeding, just some tiny little Nepetas that I threw in. And this is Veronica in here. So some of them are doing good, some of them aren't. All right, and that's it. That's all we have. I mean, it's a long one. There's a lot going on. Things are finally starting to grow. I'm really starting to feel the relief of it. Most of the heavy lifting is done, of course, except now that I have that whole new area to start thinking about and clearing out and doing some cutting on the trees and stuff like that. I'm ready, very ready to have a fresh garden area. Again, if you guys have any ideas, let me know, and I will take everything into consideration for sure, because I'm excited to have it, and it's going to be sunny. Okay, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Stay cool if you're in the heat, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.